Peace, y'all. It's your man, Dave. You may have heard me alongside my brother Quest on the Marriage Ain't for Suckers program. We're still going strong, and now it's time to take it up a notch. This is the Grown and Married program with my co-host, my rib, the queen of my castle, the queen of my life, Simone Harris. We've been friends for almost 30 years and married for almost 20. So we know a thing or two about making marriage and relationships work if you're willing to make it work. So gather around, y'all. Share this with your spouses, your friends, your frenemies, and yes, even your enemies. And let's make marriages phenomenal together. Queen Simone, I know you're ready. I know you're set. So let's go.
Yeah, y'all already know what it is. This is the Grown and Married program. My name is L. David Harris. I am your host, and guess what? I'm running with my wife, Simone. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I think we got it all sorted out. And I'm delighted to be able to share this time with you. It's an investment. We're not spending, we're investing. I think you should know the difference between the two. We have a reasonable expectation of return, and the return is a phenomenal relationship. So, again, I'd like to welcome those of you who are joining us for the very first time. And I need to ask you a favor before I bring the queen on. I need you to direct your web browser to grownandmarried.com. That's grownandmarried.com. There you can ask questions related to your relationships because, of course, we want to engender phenomenal. And you can also subscribe to your favorite podcasting aggregator because you may be listening on the radio right now. And even though you are, I need you to go ahead and subscribe. It could be to iTunes, Google Play, Music, or whichever of your other favorites. You'll see the options there because I'm going to ask you to add your review and rating, your honest reviews and ratings, because that helps this program go farther and wider. So please direct your browser to grownandmarried.com and find out how to leave your honest review and rating. So without further ado or either delay, I'd like to bring my wife, the queen herself. I don't have any queenly music, but hey, Simone, how you doing?
Hey, queen in the house. I'm good.
Very nice. Well, we upgraded the Queen's side of the studio, so we are improving day by day. You sound even better if that's even possible. So
Yes,
it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can hear yourself. Look at that.
I can hear myself swallow. I can hear myself breathe. What else?
Wow. Yeah. So today we are moving into a program. I said I do, but now I don't. Now, I'm not talking about myself, though. So, don't get nervous.
Mercy.
Yeah. I said I do, but now I don't. Why some marriages end in divorce. And so what we're going to do is go through as many as we can, but there are 10 reasons why some marriages end in divorce. And so we'll do our best with the time. I'm not sure we'll cover them all, but it's okay. Hopefully you are not among those who have changed your mind, but if you are, we're going to try to walk through some of these so we can add some good counsel to it and, maybe talk out some of your thoughts as a proxy. And so the number one reason, this is not in priority necessarily because the statistics change on a regular basis, but the first one we're going to talk about a little bit here is infidelity. Yeah.
Infidelity.
Yeah, so that's one of those ones that a lot of people groan over, but for whatever reason, it seems to be the big marriage killer. So let's give a scenario. So you're supposed to be married to your one husband, ladies, and your one wife, gentlemen, and for some reason you find another person to be pleasurable to you. And maybe you've started by talking on the telephone or letting your two thumbs and your social media platforms do the walking and talking, and you found yourself a little bit too familiar. And one thing leads to another, and you are now having a relationship with somebody that is not your spouse.
Sigh.
Serious. It's serious.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be naive. I understand that we're human beings and people make mistakes, but we want phenomenal marriages. So Let's talk a little bit, Simone, about some of the ways that we might avoid inappropriateness that can lead to infidelity. Did you get that? Like,
Yes.
Because some people think that the infidelity just kind of starts like it just happened. But there are things that we kind of get through that lead us in that direction that maybe if we avoid those, it could be helpful.
Yeah, well, we covered this or a part of this on a previous program where we said, there are ways that we invite others into the relationship. And one of them is not, one of the ways that we said to avoid infidelity was by not sharing information about your relationship with someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Because that's how it really begins, So if you and your spouse are having a problem, don't run to your female coworker or your male coworker and talk about, your spouse and the issues that you're having, because that right there sets the tone for the individual to say, okay, I see a way that I can wedge it, especially if they have, have feelings for you already or
got
attracted
the hots
to
for you, huh?
Yeah, or attracted to you. And they're like, this is my chance, But even if that's not there, excuse me, then the both of you become vulnerable then. Yeah. And then you start seeing things in that individual that you don't see in your spouse. And then you're just like, oh man, this is so new. This is so good. It feels good to be able to confide in someone.
Right.
And then you start thinking and saying, well, this person really, speak to me. And it's like, but you just married. You said I do to somebody who did that.
Yeah.
Why not go and talk to them? And I think that's the part where the infidelity comes in, where both spouses, they're not talking to each other. We have, and this can go in so many different ways, but we have an issue now with devices.
Yeah.
So talking, being truthful, being honest and open with each other about your feelings about each other and not bottling it up. It's going to come with some pain when you sit down and talk to the individual, but that's how you work through these things so that you don't have the infidelity creeping in.
Yeah. I think what I'll do is oversimplify and pick number 7 in our list to sort of draw together with this part of the conversation. So oversimplifying, giving our best selves to our spouses is about the best start that we can give it, because the moment we start breaking off piece of our emotions, breaking off piece of our vulnerabilities, breaking off piece of our hopes and our dreams and sharing it with somebody who did not say I do to us, right? Did not make the vow. Then what we've done is pulled away some of the best of ourselves from our spouses who have the greatest investment in us, in their families, if we've had children, our extended families, in-laws, and so forth, and the community may be looking up to us. And if you start taking out of that reserve bank and giving to somebody else, then as you can see, the supply will dwindle. And it's just a matter of time. We're oversimplifying because this is not a seminar after all, but infidelity is a big one. Sometimes habits like watching things that we ought not. We talked about this on another program, like you said. And there are certain types of music that lead our minds toward sexual indiscretions as well, because the lyrics are directly saying, things that are, would be an infraction, if you want to say, in our own marriages. But if we see our husbands, ladies, and our wives, gentlemen, as the best friends that we could possibly have and the most intimate partners that we should ever have, and then value them, then that is a good start to insulate us against infidelity. And I know we've oversimplified, but this other issue is a lack of intimacy. And, people who are mature understand that intimacy is more than just the sexual part. So let's talk a little bit about the intimacy. If there's a lack or dearth of intimacy in the household, then things can go pretty wrong. fairly
Yeah.
quickly.
Mm-hmm. And I want to also add to the lack of intimacy. How about the validating the spouse as
Yeah.
far as, how they look today, or what you like about them, about the things that they do. I don't know if I'm making sense with that. But
Like,
hmm?
like,
Oh, like, if you, okay, okay, I'm not going to talk about this, but
why
so
not?
you see the person washing dishes, right?
Yeah.
No, make fun of it and go to them and say, I like the way you wash the dishes. I like
Uh-huh.
the way you make the suds bubble. I mean, just, something like that.
Sometimes being silly helps.
Yeah, being silly helps. And it actually makes the person feel validated. It might sound weird, but it actually does, because then you know that your spouse is looking at you, and they know that you feel that, oh, they notice me, and they notice that I'm doing something,
Mhm.
that they appreciate,
Right.
and the way you touch each other.
Yes. I like that part a lot.
Yes. And the way that you speak to each other.
I like that part a lot too.
And you know what I like? What I think is very nice.
What nice? Okay. What?
I really like the fact that you open the door. That simple thing of opening the door, the car door, and people actually notice it.
Really?
And other women notice it. Yes.
Wow.
You remember when we were at the gym, and the lady that works there, and she said she likes the way that you treat me.
Okay. Yes,
and she can tell that. Yeah, she said it, and I was just like, but we at the gym. What we doing? What is he doing? But she can tell, like, the way how you treat me, and we're at the gym.
A whole lot.
That you love, yeah,
a whole lot of much.
Yes. And
see me after the show.
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
We're only 12 minutes into the program. All right.
Carry on.
Yes. So, yeah. So, you make the person, you tell them these things. So like you said, it doesn't have to be always on the sexual level,
right?
But it just a simple touch or something, you say something, and that actually, get you ready.
Definitely. And really and truly, I alluded to this a moment ago, all jokes aside, that when we share the best parts of ourselves, that brings about intimacy. Not only does it sort of insulate us against infidelity, but it brings us. So if I can be vulnerable, I'm having a difficult day today because person X said something to me that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. This is how it made me feel. This is what I thought. But those things, if I were to say them in real terms, would be, I may not say that in a microphone, mm-hmm. but I share it with you to say, I'm broken here, or I'm challenged here. And this is something that I need to share with you because I value your thoughts. I value your views, the way that if I need consoling, I'm not one that generally does, but if I do, you're the best one to do it.
Right.
And, there's a big bad world out there, and the best person to help insulate us against the negatives are the ones that we've vowed to live with and cherish for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, oversimplifying because we have this long list. How about, I want to go with abuse because that's a big one. We're talking about why people change their minds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of times the abuse, whether it be sexual, physical, emotional, spiritual, shall I continue, verbal, financial abuse, these things are usually manifest before we get married.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But, for whatever reasons, we decide let's get married anyway and enter into that what's called cycle of abuse and wonder like what is going wrong. And now we are regretful if we're on the receiving end of the abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean no disrespect when I say that. I'm just saying now it's like, oh my, what are we going to do? Because this is a terrible home environment and it's taking its toll on me. And if we have children, on our children. So abuse is a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for that, I can only say, and because I'm not in, I have not, my marriage is not like that, but I mean, from someone on the outside looking in, it's easy to say to them, get help.
Right. Easy.
You know,
to
easy
say
to
that.
get help.
Yeah.
So I honestly wouldn't know what to say to the individual. Now, if he's or she
yeah,
is like just going at the person, you know, at their spouse, and yes, then I probably will call and try to get help. I mean, I've had a situation where someone, you know, a young lady was in trouble.
Yeah.
And I reached out to someone who has had that experience and also is a supporter. And I just gave that person's name and number to that individual because, you know, they have a way to help them out of the abusive relationship in a safe manner. So if you need help, you know, reach out. Or if you're the individual that's seeing it, reach out and try to help the individual, but do it in a safe way. There are ways to do it.
Yeah. I, of course, you know, I'm an author and a publisher, and Denaire Marie used to be I used to call her business partner. We used to run a lot together and had some programs that had to do with writing through your pain. And she published a book with me, and I also published one under my own name. Mine is titled Enough: Taking Back Your Life After Years of Abuse. And in that book, not only are there tools that can be helpful, but there are also a list of resources. There are people who are bound to these abusive situations because of finances. There's some secrets there about how to manage so that does not have to be an impediment. There are ways to find safety and so forth. So just look it up. Enough. It's on Amazon and every other bookseller you could think of or not think of. Enough: Taking Back Your Life After Years of Abuse, or ldavidharris.com. And that's something that's really near and dear to me because I have seen abuse firsthand for many years of my life with different people that are close to me. You know, people I've known for many years, and some even that I've only met in the last 10. So that's a big, serious red flag. And boy, we couldn't begin to say enough here. So just go ahead and check out that resource, and hopefully it'll guide you in the right direction.
Yes.
So another reason why some people say I do, but then change their minds is unrealistic expectations. Yeah. There are things that people have seen, whether on television and movies, have dreamed up for, you know, because of an ideal that was represented to them. And the expectations were spoiled. Or let me pick another way, Simone, where maybe the spouse overpromised and underproduced or underdelivered.
Can I say the word?
Go ahead.
They've been bamboozled.
Hoodwinked.
Run amok.
Oh, boy. And so, you know, let's tackle the side where we have set up our own expectations in our minds. And when that fantasy is not met, then we have a problem, because the other thing is a different sort of kind of problem. So if I have ignored the reality of who my spouse is or potential spouse at the time, and then after a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, realize that, oh, wait a minute, I can't actually change this person, right?
You're bad.
It's really my fault, because like I should have seen who my spouse was and accepted my spouse for who he or she is.
But you did.
Well, I did, definitely. I don't have any
No,
regrets,
not you.
right?
Not you. I meant the individual.
Oh, but yeah. So what people do is they set up this framework. Oftentimes, unfortunately, many times it's women who see the best in men, and then add a next level of idealism, right? And then add a next level of, I think I can be of service, or I can be helpful, and if I can just do X, then he will change in this way. But
Settling.
it doesn't usually work that way. Yeah. So spoiled
Yeah.
expectations, that's a big one.
Yeah. Unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Living in that dream world,
Yeah.
And so it's, not cool.
All right. Lack of equality. Now that one is, it can be a subheading under abuse, but it doesn't have to go to that level. There are people, honestly, who are not suffering at the hands of their spouses who treat them like they're not equals. They have self-esteem problems themselves. And then as a function of that unresolved issue or issues of self-esteem, then they feel like they're not equal, and then begin to sort of drag on the relationship, because they're always wanting to be validated beyond sort of normal means, to the point where it's like, help me feel like a human being, because by myself, I don't feel like, because maybe mommy or daddy or some other third party when I was growing up put me in a position where I feel less than. Maybe I get that at work. Who knows? And so when there is a variance in the relationship in terms of equality, that's a big drag on the relationship.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to, what did you see before you married the person?
Yeah.
You can, see that the individual is, like you have to keep pulling them along, or it's just a lot. So it was there before. And, maybe you said, well, again, can I live with this? And if you said yes, then that's what you agreed to.
Yeah.
I don't think someone becomes that way after you get married.
No.
Right?
Right. And if I do find myself in that situation, there's always a way to get help. In our case, we like certified Christian counselors, and then there, of course, are relationship coaches and facilitators. And when you find that this is an issue, then don't hesitate. Like, don't feel like, well, I bought it and that's kind of it. If something goes wrong with your vehicle, then hopefully you go get it fixed before it falls apart. Or if your health begins to fail in some way, then you go to the doctor. And so when it comes to our relationships, then there are people that can be of extreme service to us. And then we can end up with a testimony about what it's like to overcome these obstacles. And then our relationships can be models to other people who are going through as well. So that's a big one. Yes. Now, here's one that seems, I don't know. I'm not going to say it seems shallow, but some people might think it is. But it is what it is. Weight gain. Believe it or not, people change their minds because one or the other spouse has a problem with weight. And boy, I mean, what do you say to that? So you go into your marriage at a certain weight, and then, you get happy and you're settling in. And of course, every year you're married means every year that you're getting older, and things change. And it doesn't always have to be an extreme, but whatever your standard for acceptable weight, if that's disappointed, sometimes that drives a wedge in the relationship. Unbelievable. So
and
now
listen,
right?
Right. Sorry. I was going to say, and listen, sometimes it's, okay, did you all help each other to, figure this thing out? Did it, because I think of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are working me out at the gym.
I'm working you out.
Helping me out.
Really?
Yes. We exercise together at the gym, but there's some things I'm just like, I never thought I would be doing this particular exercise,
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that, you didn't call me fat or nothing like that.
Oh, no, that I would never say. There's no way.
You didn't call me that.
No.
But I saw it, I was not happy with where my weight was. And it was a health decision for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that. And it's important to me. And then you helped me with that. So there's some people just, you can help them, but so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does become an issue. But man, I didn't think it would end in divorce.
Yeah. I mean, people really take that stuff seriously. I don't know if you recall, and this is on the externals again. I'm just going to, we were talking about weight gain, but I'm going to classify that as an external. So I don't know if you remember, there was a doctor in a certain part of I don't know if he was a doctor. Let me just say it was a guy in a certain part of the world. And he and his wife got pregnant, right? And then the baby comes out, but the baby doesn't look as beautiful in his eyes as his wife, right? And the dude sues his wife.
Yes.
I don't remember what the terms of the suit was, but
wasn't what he saw.
But what happened was she got like plastic surgery and adjusted her appearance to be what she considered to be more beautiful. And he obviously agreed, but he didn't know that she had gotten the plastic surgery. This happened before they got married. So the woman that he met and he laid eyes on, that was the woman that he thought he was attracted to. He got married. They have a baby, and the baby doesn't look like that. And I'm just repeating what the news item says. I'm not even going to say it the way they said it because it's a little bit crass. But so now he's suing her because the baby comes out ugly, according to the way they said it. I didn't say that. And I'm like, oh my. So like the dude sued her and divorced her because he's like, it was false advertisement kind of thing. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what to even do with that.
Remember he saw the before picture of her.
Yeah. I don't remember how he came upon the before picture, but it came after the baby was born. Some kind of way he encountered the before picture, and all bets were off.
And the baby picture, and the baby looked like her.
Yeah.
So he was just like, "Oh no,
you can't make this stuff up."
No.
Yeah.
Just it.
So I think we need a maturity check, quite frankly. And I get it, but my goodness, I think we need a maturity check, and we have to realize that we're real people. We're no different when we're bigger or smaller. Yes, we may have, things like, for me, I'm attracted a certain way to you. I get it. Like, I'm not naive, but you're my wife regardless, right? You're still the same Simone. And so I think we need to get to that level where our spouses are worth so much to us that we don't let petty stuff get in between us. We don't let the big things like, abuse get between us, because if we love each other like we say we do, we would never do that, right? And of course, infidelity is a no-no, and we could go down the list, but I think we'll probably need to do a part 2 because there's some things that we did not cover that are major, like constant arguing and a lack of communication and so forth. But but until then, we're going to just kind of let you go. But think about some of those things and see how you can be of service to others if you're not going through those things. Otherwise, we'll holler at you next time. Peace.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better, And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the most phenomenal versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace from Dave and the queen of my castle, Simone. We got love for you, baby.